Welcome, I'm Bill Wake. We're working on a program called Fiume that's designed to help you track finances for medium and long term. And one of the things we're doing is we have the notion of LEIA, which is a liability, expense, income, or asset. And that represents sort of the four ways money can be either a stream of money or a pool of money coming in or out. Now, up until now, we have the leiaType that represents them, but it doesn't know which one of those four it has. And that's actually held in something we call plan. And we're trying to move that concept down into the Leia object. Now, the constraint that we have that makes this tricky, we don't want to break persistence. So my one customer has set up some information about his finances. He'd like to load the new version of this app and not have it throw away everything he set up. So we've got to make sure that that happens. And I'm not testing that in place. So that's kind of weird. I don't know how big a gap that is. I can probably burn my... It's like I want to wait until it's a mistake to fix it, but on the other hand, I don't want to pay that. I don't know. I don't enjoy the persistence part of an app, I guess is what it comes down to. I think what we've done so far is we've added this enum for the type of a Leia. I don't know, it may need to be more public than this. And we've added an optional value of this type. So our existing objects will not have that instance, they won't have that field. We're storing them as JSON. And JSON will just say, okay, fine, there's nothing there named leiaType. Well, then there's no leiaType, make it nil. So that part is okay. The part that's going to be tricky is we have an existing Leia. It doesn't have a type listed. Right now we're going to default it to unspecified, or I guess we'd like to default it, but we haven't done that yet. Okay, I don't know. All right, and we stopped doing this in the middle of doing something else, and I'm wondering if that's a good decision. But make a date and scenario required. That's not something. I think the real issue is this one. We introduced the notion of relative streams. So a stream can say, I'm 50% of this other one, or a pool, or whatever. And we could have a situation where somebody says, let's name this stream foo, and let's make foo be half of the value of foo, or half of the value of x, and x is half the value of foo. You know, these kind of things. They aren't so good. That's kind of a bad dependency. It's a weird error to make. Do I have to cover this error? I don't think so. Or, well, can I get by without it for now? That's my real question. I think we can. I mean, I can just tell my one user, like, don't do that. In the longer run, I would like to make it not possible. But I think what's happening is, because I want to change the structure between Leia and plan and scenarios that involve them, that will affect this feature. I think it'll be easier to deal with later, I guess, is what I'm coming to. Well, maybe no harder. I don't know. Maybe it will, maybe it won't. Okay, I think we'll go on with the Leia thing now. Okay, make Leia know its type. I guess that's kind of what that's the chapter title, I guess, for the day. Okay. Yeah, so we have a find that needs to know. Yeah, it could do that. Yeah. I think we have the notion of what are all the active layers, and now we actually keep a list of these are the streams, these are the pools. We should be able to fold those together. And then, like Mudshark just said, we can also look at a find that can tell us the relative streams and maybe tell us the targets of them, or tell us the relative streams, and we can look for overlap or something like that. Okay. So let's see what we got to do here. I think at this point we have this type that's nil and nobody ever references it except to make it unspecified here. No one ever looks at it, I should say. Is that the right thing to do? Isn't it odd, right? Let's find plan. Okay, here you can see add to pool, add to stream. Group and scenarios are separate things. Like where do people know the difference? I think the answer is they know it in the user interface, and that's the driver, I would say, for this. Let's see if I can find an example. Edit pool view. Okay, so yeah, one thing is edit pool view, edit stream view are almost identical. The only difference comes. Yeah, this one knows it's asset and liability versus income and expense. I don't think there's any other real difference there. Now, the other funny thing is, and I hope to get rid of that with this, is this dealing with the -1. So when you tell me you have an expense of $500, that really nets you -500. And somewhere when we have to keep track of these signs, but I think we don't need it at the display like this. Created amount is only used to construct this thing, and if we knew if it were income or expense, we would know whether it was negative or not. So I think that's going to simplify those things in our user interface. And then the other place that shows up, well, it'll probably have to become more of a distinction when we calculate net worth. Where is that? Maybe it's in plans. No? Okay. Somewhere we take $0. Where's scenarios? Well, we got plans. Plans is array of plan. I'm not sure. We'll have to see how it plays out, I guess. Okay, but anyway, currently nobody looks at leiaType, and I don't think we can until we force plans to indicate what type they are. Now, I think we can force the UI to tell the type. Okay. All right, let me see how we can do this. Check when editing liability expense. No. Let's say make set leiaType when creating Leia. Okay, that's something we can do. Let's see who calls this a init, because there's going to be some in the test that shouldn't, that they really do want a particular one, but we don't reflect that. Okay, so this, well, Leias are mostly looking for range checks. Yeah, so this one, I think we can make it an income. make sure these tests still pass. So my plan is to go through the tests first and then work our way on the UI stuff and anywhere else. And if we get to the point where everything is creating it correctly, then we no longer need it in the plan or the possibilities, net worth calculations. That should simplify things somewhere. Once we get it out of plans, we can drop it from persistence, but we're going to need it at least once to convert existing plans to the proper layout. Okay, so what that means is we'll release this. Well, we'll get to a certain point where we haven't deleted it from plans, release this, force a new write, and everything will have a plan then, and we can drop it next week. Okay, no problem there. Back to our find. Okay, so here's one. This is a pool. All right. Asset. This one. No, let's see who calls this one. Okay, that's a stream. And the other one? Well, I guess we'll just take it as a stream and okay. Too long? Yeah. It is getting a little obnoxious. Okay. Does anybody use this one? Streams. Okay. Oh, no, it said it wasn't used, but but it lied. Okay. Well, several of these create Leias. Boy, these things are looking more and more different, the relative ones. Okay, house is an asset. I don't know. It may be that it should be its own separate type because it's going to be. I don't think you would want to say this relative asset, this relative thing is an income stream when it's based on an asset. So yeah, I think a relative is not a stream. I don't even know if it's a Leia really. It is kind of. I suppose it is an asset or a, it's a thing it's a financial thing. Yeah, I'm not even sure if it's a Leia per se. 'Cause right now we have it in the amount. We say, what's your amount? Well, it's based on this other amount. But I don't think that's quite right. It feels like a very different type of Leia. The Leias we have, they all have what's your amount, what's your date range, and what's your name. That's kind of the three interesting things on them. Now writing what's your type. Let me make a note because Leia rather than amount. I'm hoping this reveals itself better as we get this thing straightened out. All right, let me go back. Oh, did I commit? No. Okay. Why did you not? Okay. Back to these. I did an amount. The plans. Okay, this one's a stream, so it's an income. Another stream. don't think these will care. We mostly defaulted to streams, so I think, yeah, that looks okay. Oops. Okay. Whoop. I guess make Leia know its type is really like the category here. Okay, now it's going to get trickier. Okay. A scenario, add plan view. Oh, well, this one won't be bad. I guess I can do these previews. Do we know? What do we know? I guess is income is what's telling us. Okay. Now, at stream view, I think same thing, right? We have his income. Okay. say asset. If a stream type, I think in effect it's handled by is income, but we should look at it probably. Although I think when we get this together, it's going to fold together both the edits and setups for those. But yeah, I think get through this part, make sure it's clean. Leia. Okay, I'll let that rest. This is a stream. Well, do we need to know? I feel like I'm drawing one more distinction than I need to, because if it's, are we setting the amount negative? If we set the amount negative, then it seems like we already know if it's income versus expense or asset versus liability. And maybe we don't need to distinguish that level. We'll see. Okay, here's a pool. Okay. Too big. Yeah, no, at some level, I mean, the length of these parameters is not necessarily a good thing. Name, amount, dates, and type. That feels like the right stuff. All right, well, that's good. Since there's a type, why not use it? Well, I think in a way, I'm not enough of an accountant. I'm almost none of an accountant. Because normally I think when you would normally say I have an expense of $300 a month. You don't have an expense of negative 300 a month. Yeah, we don't want to check multiple properties for sure. Okay, so add leiaType to all callers that create callers to Leia's constructor. Okay. So, all right, let's go back to Leia. All right, so I think what that says is this equal unspecified should no longer be needed if I caught everything. Which is a good thing. I mean, these default ones, that's usually a sign that you're hard coding something for somebody's benefit. Lots of times it's maybe a test, but here we got one that isn't. Okay, so this one we're updating by a new Leia. Okay, so I guess you should get leiaType. So sometimes I'm a Leia and sometimes I'm a Leia, but it should be Leia's type. Okay. Did I put an accessor on? Oh, .type. Okay, let's use that. Not sure it's needed. Leia. Okay, so right. Okay, I thought that would be harder in production to know which one we wanted, but that seemed okay. All right. Check signs when editing liability and expense. Okay, I think the place, I'm still not clear on our net worth calculation. Let me find that. Net worth, yeah. Okay. Possibilities. Okay, so we're taking scenarios, and I think this goes on scenario. Right. Okay, so yeah, so here we have a stream, and we're always adding the amount. I don't know if so this line in 72, they're the lines that require us to have negative numbers in there for the amounts. So I don't know if the let's run it, but like right now we put dollar minus 500. I know we made that happen yesterday for sure. So or we checked it for sure anyway. I think maybe that's not right. I think maybe we should say expense of 300, and the fact that it says expense and it's red instead of green tells you that it's going the wrong way, and it has an arrow going down. Plenty of things to indicate to you that it's not good. Okay, so this is the second place that knows that it's negative. Okay, so what I want to do net income for month, net asset at month. Okay, yeah, I'm gonna. These two are very, very similar. So I'm gonna make them. I'm gonna unify them, and then I'm gonna deal with this negative number thing. I think so. Let's call this file private func net at month, and let's see streams. This is a name to Leia. Can I do this? Name to Leia. Okay, so that's the collection. Yeah, maybe I should call it in collection, name to Leia. And I'm going to do this. And this is no longer pools, it's collection. Does that work? Results. I guess returns money. Okay, so now pools value reduce this. Okay, let's fix this name. Okay, and now this is net of month at month in streams. Okay, and this is net at month in pools. All right, now this is all reasonably well tested, I think. I'm not too worried that we're extracting wrong. Okay. So I guess I'm wondering, can I inline this without messing me up? Okay, that's good. All right, so net income at month in streams. I think this is the only caller. Do we call it in a test? Oh, we call it all over the place in tests. Both these really love that. Okay. Well, did that run? I guess I understand the desire to test net income in particular, because if you don't test it at the net income level, you're testing it in the whole giant scenario computation stuff. And this confidence here is worth something, but I don't know. I mean, it's clear it's worth something because we do a lot of work to make sure these net incomes are coming out right in all kinds of little weird scenarios. Okay, that passed. So this is just a refactor extract method net. Okay, but now I want to make this move that's going to seem weird, I think. And maybe it's a little risky, but I don't think it's risky in terms of working. I think it's risky in terms of whether it's going to give us a better design. Okay. Well, let's first... Oh, let's see amount. Amount dot value. So what I'm looking for is a way to get the negative number taken care of at probably this level. Now, I don't know who all calls this. That's probably the real trick. Not a lot. What's base here? That's the Leia that we're looking for. And that should be a Leia, right? Yeah. Okay. Right. So if you ask a Leia for an amount, I'm going to do a lot of weird stuff to get rid of this negative sign. What I was thinking was I would take the sign of the absolute value of the thing. I don't know. Amount doesn't know the sign. The sign is determined by Leia because that's what tells us if it's income or expense. And there's not a ton of usage. Matter of fact, there's very little. This one is in amount. That also should be negative or positive depending on the thing. Okay, so let's check this out. All right, so let's rewrite this as a guard clause. Guard dates.includes is it if? Why am I forgetting guard syntax? Guard let usually, but okay, it is that. Okay, guard this. Yeah, I don't think I need to assign it. I'm going to say else return money sub 0. Okay. So yeah, you can get guard let or just guard in a clause. Okay. I'm not consistent. All right, but now this is return that. Okay. Dates includes month and people else return money 0. Okay. Let's make sure that's all good. And I don't need a let because I'm not using the date information anymore. Okay. Refactor, rework conditional, well, change to guard clause. Okay. So this one, this is where I'm going to do my switch on leiaType. He's supposed to volunteer. There we go. Let's try that again. Switch on type. Right. Okay. Asset and income are going to be the same. And liability and expense. Okay. These two go away. This is sort of our default money 0. Okay. Who needs the negative values? Well, yeah, basically that's the only place. The other place that uses them is our user interface because it had that negative 500. But I really want that to become 500. So it's not critical to me that I think that's done in the UI, so I don't think it matters that it I want it to lose the sign. I think it's going to happen automatically. Okay. Oh, whoops. Okay. Now, instead of amount.value, well, no, this is just amount.value. No, not yet. Okay, for now, it's got to have the absolute value. This is minus absolute value of the thing. Okay. That never happens. Okay, so I think I'm creating an equivalent situation. We already did the guard clause. If you're a positive thing, we return the absolute value that you have in there. If you're a negative, we return the negative of the absolute value. That way I don't have to care if it's negative or positive right now. That's temporary. I think we can get them out as we go. All right, and this should still pass. I guess if it doesn't, that would be interesting. And unfortunate. 42 failures. Okay, we didn't do it in a small way. Let's take one or two, see if it's something relatively obvious. aplan.swift 132. Or how about any of you? Okay. Make Leia $100. Now, what did we say our make Leia was? Probably income, yeah. Okay. Let's break here. Oh, I can't run just the one test yet. Why would it be 0 if the dates were wrong? January to October, and I'm looking in January, I should be valid. Oh, I can turn this off here. Turn it on here. Okay. Okay, let's step over. Let's look at set. Okay, January through October. leiaType is nil. What? Make Leia has a leiaType of income. I'm puzzled. Both these say they're going to make it. Okay, let's... Do we store it in our constructor maybe? No, we do not. Okay, self.lay, I don't need that breakpoint now. Three failures. Okay, I can believe there's 3 places that messed up how they do that. Okay, A scenario Swift 116. Okay, that one's wrong. Because he's got to be negative. Yeah, that's... I think I need to make this a top level type. Okay, making public. Yes. Yeah, that's I don't know why it would not be 900. Okay, is this the one? Yeah. Oh, the errors went away. Oh, he hasn't run yet. Okay. One test with 2 failures. Okay, are you one of them? No. All right, where are the failures? The possibilities 35 and 56. Yeah, same similar situation. I think it would look better without the leiaType in there, actually. Okay. Okay. I feel like that's a crossover point. Now, whether this all works. Okay, so I think what's going on now is we are always, whether or not the sign is right, I believe we'll do the right thing now. So let's go run it, see what we're seeing. I think we're going to still see dollar minus 500, but we'll make that go away next. What has happened? Oh, man. Okay, so it looks like we had the right stuff in here still. I didn't break persistence at least. $50,000 in savings is an asset. Good. Income 159, but something's screwy. Everything's coming up zeros. Oh, I know. All the stuff we've done relies on the type being not unspecified. All those test cases put a real type in. But when we load, we get unspecified by default. We get nil, I should say. Okay, I think that's what's going on. So I guess let's look at Leia. Okay, so I think what's happening is leiaType is defaulting to nil on the ones it reads in. Now this is tricky. Okay. Okay, so I think what the deal is plan gets read in. It's codable. I don't know, is plans codable? Yeah. Okay, so plans gets read in. It's going to load. Well, codable has another constructor that just reads it in for us. Okay. Yeah, so somehow between when the codable load gets called, we need to replace, I think, our plans. Sorry, where's plan? Every plan that has a Leia, the Leia should be replaced by one that has the type set. And it'll only know the type if it goes through, well, it has to look. Where's the pool? Wait, where's pool? I'm losing something. Plans has pool, right? No? Who has those two things? It must be the possibilities. That's the only one left. Possibilities is not codable. Well, wait a minute. He has coding keys, but he's not codable. Interesting. Okay, so yeah, so the JSON type now has nothing for it, so it leaves leiaType as nil, and then when we look up type, it defaults it to unspecified, which gets a 0. So that's where we got the flat line. All right, so the question is, where do I capture the fact that I'm loading. I don't know if it's in the app. Fiume app. Right. Yeah, in init we do people.load and plans.load. Okay, so I think, well, I should say a way. A way to do this would be, at this moment after 29, put in something that says plans.convert to new plans. And it's going to reset the plan's contents. And well, I guess we would load a temporary plans and then convert it. Okay, so that seems like something we can do programmatically reasonably well. I mean, it's a very testable thing, even though it's in the context of persistence, it's going to be called after the loading happens. So I think we could do that. I don't know if we have, what does load do? Plans equals new plans dot plans. Okay, so plans dot load takes another plans. Okay, yeah, I think we can just chain these up. Where'd my app go? Okay, so I think we're in a position to test drive a function that, given a plans object, goes through and makes sure that every Leia in it has a type, a leiaType, and sets it, and probably should write it too. Will be the conversion. And that's a one-time thing on the app. Okay, so plans, new plans gets us that on the open. Plans.load. It has a type for that. Where is it? I never know whether it's on plan or plans. Sorry. Where's type? Yeah, plan type should tell you that. So it doesn't know income or expense. It just knows pool versus stream. And the only way we know if it's income or expense is if it's positive or negative. Yeah. Okay, so we're going to get, well, let's see. This statement loads a plans array with from the JSON. And then I'm going to, well, maybe load can do it. Let's see who calls this. If it's really only this and maybe a test. It's this and a test. Okay. Plans doesn't change when loading. Was changed equals false. Now I thought plan did change when it was loading. Sorry, plans did change. Oh no, it marks it false. Okay. Yeah. All right, so the way it is now, it loads plans, and if a leiaType is the old persistence, it's going to have nil for its leiaType. And what I want to do is change that. I'm going to make the load more complicated. Boy, this accommodating persistence, maybe my rule of not wanting to write the boilerplate code for Codable is the problem, part of the problem here. But just saying we're going to support the old format until all our customer has converted, and then we'll support the new format means I go in there twice. But you know, I'm it's a learning process for me, so I'm okay with it. But what I think I want to do is I want to make a constraint here that says force all Leias to not be nil or unspecified. Okay. And our current load doesn't do that. It just copies the stuff in. But we can do that. This is a conversion map, basically, right? So take any plan and convert it. Now, most of these plans are pretty easy because if they have a Leia, we convert the Leia, and if they don't have a Leia, then we don't convert it. All right. So, where's that test? That's the one we want. Okay. So, I guess that I would say this is marked unchanged. Marked unchanged when loading. So, if you change, we have to save you again. So we don't want to do that. Okay. So let's add a test. The plans sets leiaType when loading. Okay. And it is given a plans, so we'll create a Leia. Do I have a way to do that? I don't think I do. Okay. I'm going to make this optional. Pained me. No, I don't think I need to. Okay, let's write the test and then change things. Just for variety. Okay, so we're going to make a Leia. Leia is Leia. Name, it is optional. Name, I don't know, do I have to specify all those things? Yeah, they're explicit. Okay. Name is no type. Well, amount is money. Let's make it minus 100. Is it just an int? Yep. Oh, amount. That's why I need it. Okay. I don't think we need to. I think what'll happen is if let's say you're starting with the old format, you load up the thing and you quit right away. Well, we haven't changed anything, so we don't save anything different. So I think the alternative is you load something, you make one small change, Now we force the plans to rewrite, and it writes in the new format. We could force it, or we could detect it. Do I care? I guess I could force it. It wouldn't be a big deal. I mean, it just doesn't take that long to write out the JSON. So even if we force it, it'll first time you load, it'll load, change them, write them back out, and then if you make changes, write the new changes, or write them out, and then the next time you load, it converts them to the same thing and then rewrites the thing. It's not a huge price at this point. Nil is not compatible. Okay, so I'm going to have to make this nullable. I think I can, and then it's going to be one of the things that goes away. Okay. All right. That didn't do it, though. Okay, so now let plans equal plans. All right, so we're going to make a plans, and then we need to append parent plan. Okay. I guess we need to make plans dot append. Parent. I don't know who the top level caller is. Plan is passed in here. Okay. Dollar plan. Okay, well, I think we're going to do plans.append. The parent is plans. Let's see. Okay, so if we do plans.append, parent is plans.plans. Name is a little weak, and we'll append Leia. Okay. Now, if we call load, who are we going to call load on? I think we need to make a new one. Let's make this initial plans. Okay, so, oh, what's not to like? Oh, Leia's got to be in a plan. Make stream Leia. Okay, so we're gonna add this entry to our plan. What's the matter? Plan. Okay. And then from plans, we want to find, how do we get them? Well, I think now we just grab them. I think, is it collection? No? I think possibilities must take plans, dot plans, plan sub 0. Okay. And where's plans come from? Okay, it comes from plans. Plans. Okay. Yes. If we take plans sub 0, new Leia is that, and then we has a plan dot children bang sub 0. That should be a Leia. That's a plan. Dot Leia. Okay, it should be an optional Leia. Good. Okay, so what I expect. I expect new Leia dot type to be equal to dot expense. Because he's a stream and he's negative. Bang. Okay. It's awfully hard to set this up. Part of it is I think I've got something a little goofy in that my finances being the top level child and not wanting to let you put others in, and yet we're using an array to hold it. It's a little goofy. Okay, this test should fail. No problem. And it should blow up on expect because new Leia is still nil, I would expect. Oh, it's not blowing up because, oh, it's unspecified, right. Because we check, and if it's nil, we make it unspecified. Okay. Now, before we go further, is there anything else we can do to simplify this test? We make a Leia, we make a plan, we put the Leia in the plan, put the plan in the initial plans, create a new one to hold our result, load it, and then we look at it, and it should have that Leia. Something's going to be weird, though. Yeah, at some point, we'll want to make sure the types get set. Right, because we're making stream. Ugh, I hate having... Well, I guess we could have two versions, but yeah, we're going to have multiple versions. I guess you could... parameterize it on the plan and the expected. Yeah, that would probably work. Yeah. Okay. We could turn it into a parameterized test, I think. The parameter is a little big because it's going to be like plan.make stream of this giant thing. We could probably make a helper. I'm sure we could make a helper. We could make a make stream and a make pool, and they would create the Leia and give it the right sign and value. Or maybe you pass in the value. Okay, I think that generalizes. But you're right, there's 4 combinations, and we probably should check each one. All right, let's take a break. We'll come back and deal with the red bar. All right, so 3 or 4 minutes, and we'll see what we can do. Welcome back. All right, we have a failing test. We expected to get expense, and it came back unspecified. I don't know what's going to happen when we get our relatives, because there's really 5 situations. This relative thing is burning us. Okay, well, let's get this one passing and see where we go. All right, so because, well, plans is a tree, not a list, so that means we got to write something recursive, and I haven't made it happen, I guess. Well, I guess it has to because we're making a tree even in this test, so it's got a leaf and it's got an intermediate node. All right, well, let's plans equals new plans dot plans. Okay, let's take let's do rewrite update with new plans dot plans. Okay. Yeah, because we haven't written it yet. Okay, so file private function update takes a plan, yields a plans. Is that right? Well, I think he should maybe generate a plan. So he's going to generate an updated plan. Yeah, the plan knows the Leia. All right. And there's multiple cases, right? Okay. So plan, yeah, I mean, this is basically a plan can be one of these four cases. All right, groups and scenarios, we have to update their children, and pools and streams, we have to update the Leia. So this is, I don't know, once again, we struggled with this because originally at one point this was a tree, it was a class with subclasses. And I really think it wants to be an enum, but again, persistence is going to make that tricky. And maybe I just need to go over and let them go. I don't know. All right. So, what happens is you get an enum. It's got four things. It's going to have to be one of these four cases is how you deal with the update. Right? So the cases, no, we have to, okay, switch plan. He's one of four things. He's pool, he's stream, he's group, and he's scenarios. Right. Type plan. Oh, plan dot type. Okay. So each plan has a type. It's one of these four things. If it's a stream, yeah, hard to change the initializer when Codable does the injection. And changing from a class or a struct. Yeah. Okay. Well, our case here is a group. Okay. So, we're going to, let's take the easy cases first. If we had a pool, we would have a plan with a valid Leia, but we want to update it. Okay, so, can I get him to unspecified? Yeah. Okay, my test is a stream. Let's start there. So I have a plan. It's a stream. It must have a Leia. Okay, we got a Leia. If we do plan.Leia, bang, because we know it's a stream, it's going to have one. Okay, and that bang tells you that the type is not perfect. It really should be an enum because it's got four cases and all that stuff. That's a future update. Okay. So this plan.Leia, if we look at its type, let's get the Leia up here again. If we look at leiaType, it's going to be nil. Okay, because that's the default. Okay, and so I don't know if we can change that directly or if we have to copy it. Okay, so let's say plans. If it's a Leia, all right, let's let Leia, let's say var Leia equals that. Does that work? Okay, and then Leia dot type equals, now this is, leiaType. Okay. Well, it's either going to be income or expense. Okay. And what's going to, it's nil. So, well, we have two things going on, I guess. That's leiaType is the underlying optional type of this thing. We also defined a type that never gives you a nil back. And this one's private and this one's the public way people get it. But nobody should really be getting unspecified either. But that's possible for now. All right, so I think I want to just say, I don't know, I can't say leiaType. I think I have to make a new Leia. Now, do we do that for something else, the update or something? Right. Update overrid by Leia. First date range, do first, new last. Did we use leiaType? We did. Still doesn't help. Well, I can do it the hard-coded way. New type is something, and new type. Okay. This can be a let. Okay, now the trickiness. Okay, if the amount see, this is where we're going to get burnt on amount. Ugh. Okay, let me bring up amount. It's too deep. Okay, so amount is either money or relative. Well, if it's relative, how do you know what that other thing is? You don't. And so I don't know if we can. I don't know how we're going to do this. If the amount, if it's a money, then everything's good. I mean, I can ask is non-negative. And make it the positive version. Maybe that's good enough. Yeah, I think that'll be okay. All right. So the new type is old Leia dot amount dot is non-negative. Well, it's income or expense. Okay. leiaType. Okay. Man, it's hard to test these recursive ones, but at least I can say break on this one and break on this one. Okay. So, all right. So I think I've done the right thing so far. I got the old Leia. I'm going to take plan.Leia. So we're given a plan. Let's look at its Leia. And we're going to calculate the new type is look at the amount. If it's non-negative, it's an income. If it's negative, it's an expense. Because it's a stream, it's one of those two things. All right, then we build the new one, and we're just copying everything over except we had a new type. All right, and then that, we need a plan, or well, I don't think we can change plan in place. So let's see what plan does. Well, he could do make stream. Okay, let's return plan.make with stream. Okay, so you're given a plan, you return a plan. Now, what the update does with this, he's got to do the right thing. He's got to say plans.plans equals update of new plan.plans. Plans equals new plans.plans. That doesn't sound right. Can't you call update on the plan? Maybe. Does plan have update? Replace. Oh. Well, who owns the plan, I guess, is the question. Because plans. Oh, he's a class. I guess we could modify that. Yeah. Okay, so plans. So now we're saying he shouldn't return anything. He should just modify it in place. But what does he do? Replace. Okay, plan dot replace. Oh no, this dot replace plan. Okay. Yeah. So we have a plan dot replace or is it this? I guess it's self, right? Replace plan is plan. It's this, right? So we're calling plan dot replace plan with new Leia. And now we're not returning anything. I guess that's the case. Update plans. Okay, does that sound right? The ones that changed. All right, let's just look at plan.replace. Just changes the Leia. Okay. All right, now the group, we have to do that too because we passed in the top level one. All right, so the group, I think it's just going to be plan.children.for each gives us a plan. And we're going to call update on plan. Let's call it child. Okay, so if there are no children, skip out. I guess that can happen. If there are children, update each one. Eventually you get down to a stream. All right, let's see if this test passed. The recursive ones tend to be like either they work or they don't. Okay. All right. How to make this better? Is this line too long? Oh. Well, let's just call this Leia. Just take the easy way out. Leia, we'll make a new Leia from Leia. That sounds okay. All right. Okay, now this one, the test for income should already pass because the way I did this, but let's go back to the plans. All right. I don't remember how to do parameterized tests with the other. My desk is becoming buried. Okay. We do. Let's check that. Plans. So yeah, we force unchanged here. It wouldn't be the worst thing. Well, no, it would be a problem. Well, no, it wouldn't. Writing it wouldn't force it to reread, so probably won't hurt it. But we are marking it as unchanged. Okay, let's see. I need a web page. Okay, parameterized over this, arguments colon, right. Okay, I think I can do that. Let's make this generic. Okay, there was arguments. Empty. Cannot specify arguments when used with this because it's not taking. You know, I'm working on it. And this is a plan. Okay. Now this, okay, I need one that I'm going to call make stream with the amount of course I should probably do that on the right one, huh? Okay, let's take the amount, just the int. Okay. Cannot convert expression of type plan to return type. Well, okay. So now make stream minus 100. All right, this takes a plan, which should be that. Instance member make stream? No, it's a func. Let me comment that. Okay, what's your problem? This member cannot be used on type the plans. Does he have to be static? Okay, this should still pass. I had to capture the expected type too. Okay, let's do this and expense. And now this is let's make it a pair of plan and leiaType. Okay. And I'm going to do a corresponding make pool. Well, no, I got to do the income first. Okay. This should pass. Okay, now I need to make pool. Okay. This should fail. I think it's reasonable to put both those in at the same time, though, because we have to have that conditional. Okay. Unspecified expected liability. Okay. So the plan or plans does not handle pools. New Leia was never mutated. Okay. Right. This is kind of the same. Unfortunately. But if it's positive, it's an asset. Otherwise, it's a liability. Should pass. Okay. All right. We've done group implicitly. We haven't done a group with no children. Okay. Wow.
Well, a group with no children is not so hard. Function. Doesn't update type. Keeps empty group when loading. Create plans, initial plans dot append. We don't need to append to it. I guess what I'm expecting is plans.children is still nil. Okay, I think that's true. That should pass based on what we already have. Okay, we haven't done scenarios yet. Ooh. Okay, we create plans. We're going to append to that initial plans. Child is. And we need to make a scenario plan. Make scenario with a name. Okay. Okay. Now, I guess I'll take this. Okay, I'll take a plan. Make stream. Why are you all of a sudden worried about make? I guess it's the macro nature. It realizes it can access the public one. There. All right. So we make a stream. Now we need to add that plan dot append. Yeah. Append the Leia? Okay. So now we have a group containing us. Well, it doesn't contain it yet. I got to add plan. Initial plans dot append. Parent is initial plans dot plans. Child is plan. Okay. So at this point we have my finances is a group containing scenarios containing a stream. All right. And if we load plans with initial plans, we expect well, if I take plans dot children sub 0 dot children sub 0, dot leiaType is expense. Okay. Oh, yeah. Okay. So I got to make this 3-level thing. Initial plans contains a child that's a scenario, contains a Leia, which is a stream, a plan containing a stream. Okay. And when I copy it, load it, then plans dot plans is the top level. His children sub 0 is the scenario. The scenario's children sub 0 is the stream. Well, the plan in the stream. Get the Leia, get the type. Okay. This will fail. I think it'll blow up because the scenario is not there. Maybe not. Maybe it'll blow up because it'll fail because the type's not right. It's nil. Okay, nil turns into unspecified. Okay. Oh, yeah. Plans. All right, how do you do scenarios? Well, it's the same deal. It planned out for, I think it's literally the same deal. All you're going to do is update each child. Okay. That's a lot of mechanism. But I guess it's temporary. All right, because if I knew I didn't need to do the update, I wouldn't do it. Okay, so if we run, I'm expecting not to have my zeros this time. Are you going to blow up on me, or are you just going to... No, he hasn't blown up. Okay. I expect to see our graph again. Yay. Okay. Whew. I'll take that for a win. Okay. So everybody's there. Okay. That's really good. Okay. So we've forced a conversion from old Leia to new one by setting leiaType. Okay. Yeah, that's a nice accomplishment. All right, now the only thing that's not we haven't dealt with the negative stuff yet. So I'd like to see this become positive value 500 a month. And I think we can do that all in the UI. We got 15 minutes. Let's see how it goes. I don't think we'll fold the two UIs together, but I think we'll be closer. Okay, so edit stream view. Is that the one we're doing? Yeah. Okay. leiaType creates income or expense. Yeah, okay. Now this might come back. Created amount. Yeah, so right now we make you do it as positive, and then we force the sign to be negative. So I'm going to try, I think the right thing is I just make this be amount spec. Comma. Okay, so I'm saying if you edit this thing, just set the value to the amount spec. All right, and I think that will show up if we edit over here. And we should see the positive, and it's fine. Okay, if I edit it. Now this, come on. Let's take the negative out. $500. Let's make it 505. Okay, just so we can see it changed. Update. Oh, the coloring is going to be wrong, isn't it? But that's okay. Oh, maybe it's not. Yeah, because it's... Oh, we're close. It shows it... It's picking up something wrong. Is income. Well, I don't think we're calling this anymore. Now, this thing is income equals true. Is income is the selection of the type. And that should have been, yeah. Is income, is that a state? Or is it derived? No, it's state. I guess we need to know what this is doing. Okay, so we're doing stream amount view is income bool. Amount view is income. Oh, where's amount view? Amount is income. Amount. Okay. Not seen it. Let me get back here. So stream amount view looks at about spec. Oh no, the picker is his income. Okay, so we had it selected as an expense. Let's do this again. He's marked as an expense. But he's marked as an income here. Oh, this is a different view. Plan view. Stream view. Okay. He's the Leia. Yeah. Right. So he's looking at is non-negative. I think you should be looking at the leiaType now. Asset. Well, we know income is income. Now I can do this more easily, right? Okay, so I want to return. We're empty. So if I don't have one, okay, I think that's what we want. Frosty Parker Arts, welcome. So we're almost done for today. We're about 5 minutes away. We're working on an app to kind of help you with financial planning, medium and long term. And we're changing the way we do expenses and keep track of negatives and positives. This is not a good sign. Okay, he's marked as income. Let's mark him as expense. Update him. Did I hit update before? Okay, it's close, close, close. Okay, so it's now showing red, but it's showing an up arrow on expense. And the graph, the graph is back to normal. Yeah, so if your income is $500 a month, as opposed to your expense is $500 a month, that's why the graph changed so much. Yeah. But it showed up as an income the first time, which I'm not sure why. Oh, I kept not hitting update. I don't know if I just didn't. do it. All right, but this arrow is not right. All right. But I think we're in the zone of, yeah. Stream is not negative. Let's well, maybe you could just do this. I don't know if I can do this. Same thing up here. Where's my beta? I think it's question mark dot circle. I think I have to have an accessibility thing there too. Can I do it this way? Theoretically, this doesn't happen. Yeah, I'll change it back to 500. That should get us to where we were originally. Oops. Oh, there's something wrong still. Okay. It's resetting for some reason, so it's not retaining this. I'm going to put it back to 500 though. $500 negative update. That's back to our original graph. All right. If I rerun, that should have saved. Does that look right? No, it doesn't look right because it changed it back. Okay. So we're close, but not quite. So I think we'll leave it there. We need to make sure reloading an expense stream shows up as an expense stream. And it may be somewhere on the edit stream view. No, it's got to be something on this. All right, let me just make a to-do. make sure expense saves and reloads as expense. Okay, and then I think we can look here, right? Do that real quick. Where's my JQ? JQ dot. Okay, so somewhere there's a 500. Amount 0, 50,001. Stream 159. Job 2. Amount 0. Amount spec 500. Okay. But where's his leiaType? I think for whatever reason it does not write the leiaType. That's 500. Okay. Let's. Okay. Well, I think we made a lot of progress today. We were most of the way through dealing with those signs, and we did the stuff around what was it? The leiaType. So we got the leiaType used throughout. Did I add a key for codable? Good question. Nope. Okay. I'm gonna write. Nope, something's wrong. Okay. Well, that's a good place to start. What is wrong there? Okay, I'll leave it as a question. We'll figure out how to solve that tomorrow, but you're right. There's no leiaType. Okay. Tomorrow is 2 to 4:30 Eastern Time, 6 to 8:30 p.m. UTC as usual. And welcome Frosty Parker Arts if you're still there. And Mudshark, thanks again as always for your help. Have a good night. Take care. Bye-bye.